A Super Value food store held up and robbed by brazen thieves. Police investigating another murder as a man is shot and killed at Mount Royal Avenue. The Democratic National Alliance brands the official opposition worthless. Plus, a popular TV show showcasing food around the country is back for another season. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MB12 starts right now. Tonight, brazen thieves are said to have escaped with just a few $100s last night as they held up a local food store along Robinson Road. The incident, all caught on camera, made the rounds on social media. And today, the business owner says it appears as though his business has, in recent weeks, been targeted by thieves, whom he said only want quick and easy money. Kyle Joaquin has a play-by-play in this report.
It was a pretty normal day today here at this portion control on Robinson Road and East Street, but just last night, patrons and employees alike got the shock of their lives as masked gunmen made their way inside the store, demanding they be given all the cash. In the video, a masked gunman could be seen guarding the door, apparently ordering that nobody move or try to escape. Seconds later in the video, he moves from the door and points the gun towards a cashier, who appears to be doing her best to remain calm as customers stand in front of her. Just above that gunman is another with a plastic shopping bag. He runs to one cashier and cleans out her drawer before he comes to the first cashier, who already has another gun pointed at her. All this played out as young packing boys working for tips look on in shock, pressed against the wall. And after cleaning out all the cash registers, the men then exit the store and reportedly head in the direction of the Checkers Cafe next door.
They can get maximum $200-300 out of a cash register, so they're always disappointed, and they realize they took too big a chance coming in with a gun, and usually unlicensed gun, using a firearm to get a couple $100. They disappointed and realized that.
Rupert Roberts, the owner of the Super Value chain, which includes the portion control store robbed last night, said he doesn't know what's going on, but this is just the fourth time within a month that one of his 15 stores has been robbed. According to Roberts, the men only got away with a few $100s as there's a constant sweep of cash registers so that there's never a large amount of money at a given time. But as he mentioned, Super Value has either been robbed or burglarized 4 times over the past few weeks. Just 2 weeks ago, the chain's Mackey Street location was held up around the same hour on a Thursday night. Our news team obtained video of horrified cashiers as a gunman enters the store and demands that they empty the cash register. This robber doesn't have a bag and instead puts the money in his pants pockets. Once satisfied that the cash register is empty, he leaves, but a horrified employee becomes overwhelmed and faints.
3 of the girls had to go to hospital, had to go to counseling. I don't think one of the girls back yet. Of course, last night we had the armed robbery. We robbed 3 cashiers. It's a constant thing.
According to Roberts, once you step out of your car in a Super Value parking lot, your movements are being monitored. And gunmen, he said, know that, which is why they always wear masks, even in another incident when the intruders broke into their warehouse through the roof and covered the camera.
But the police see their height, their build, the police see their mannerisms, and the police know who they are. It's just a matter of when will they be able to locate them.
Robert said he hasn't heard of an arrest in any of the incidents and at times doesn't feel safe himself.
In the company, we have 1,000 employees, and we try to teach our employees that they are security officers, and we give them signs, if you see, you say, and the staff are really responding to that. We say, keep safe, see, say, and we, the citizens of the country, have to take care of ourselves.
Roberts didn't go into detail about his security systems, but the superstore chain owner is hoping that pretty soon he'd see an end to the constant robberies, and he hopes that no one gets seriously injured. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Police are investigating another murder in the capital, this one occurring just after 7 this morning along Mount Royal Avenue.
Hey, James, you good?
A man tried to make it past the yellow caution tape on the murder scene this morning, but was stopped by officers. "That's my brother," he shouted as he looked at the body lying in the distance. According to Chief Superintendent Paul Roll, just after 7, police responded to reports of gunshots.
Upon arrival, they discovered an adult male lying on the side of the road he was suffering from multiple gunshot injuries to the body.
The man was pronounced dead at the scene. Police understand the man was sitting on a wall near a business when a white Honda pulled up.
And 2, we believe, persons were in this car, and one of them discharged several shots in the direction of this male, causing these fatal injuries. I wish to appeal to persons who would have any information.
This is the 3rd murder this week, and once again, Roll made the plea for anyone with information to come forward.
I wish to appeal to persons who would have any information that they can help us with to come forward, bring that information to the police, and help us to deal with this investigation here this morning.
Leaders of the Democratic National Alliance say the country today is falling faster than most countries in the Caribbean. And while it's the duty of the Free National Movement to hold this government's feet to the fire on pressing issues facing the nation, they've been nothing but worthless and just as irresponsible as the Christie administration. Simone Davis reports.
DNA leaders said they're crying shame on the opposition leader and his party members, calling them hapless, unsupervised toddlers who have no care for what's really going on in the country. Deputy Leader Chris Mortimer said he believes the FNM is by far the worst opposition party in the history of the Bahamas, because when it comes to the widely talked about national issues, including robberies, rapes, and murders that have become a daily occurrence, the party has done nothing to push the government to do its job.
We all know what the majority of Bahamians feel about the Progressive Liberal Party. We all know that. But it is the responsibility of the opposition to hold the government's feet to the fire. That's their job. That is their job. And this, by far, has been the most hapless, unimaginative opposition in possibly the history of our country.
Mortimer said he's tired of hearing about the leadership fight between Dr. Minnis and Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner and other members in the party, adding that the main focus should be on choosing the best leader to do the best job.
All I want to do is go around this country and talk about introduce candidates. We far from that. Talk about what's going to save this country. Talk how you're going to dry tears. How you're going to help people put food back on their table. How you're going to find jobs. How are we going to grow this economy? They are not talking about anything. I'm personally tired of hearing about Hubert Minnis and Loretta Butler Turner and their fight for the leadership. Because if we do not have an opposition who is prepared to do their job, they need to go.
And when it comes to the infighting that's been going on in the FNM, Mortimer asserted that it's just a preview of what the country would have to deal with if the FNM is selected to run the country in the next general election. DNA leader Branville McCartney said the only word he could find to describe the state of the Bahamas is abused.
Because we've been abused by the PLP right now. We've been abused over the last... Look where we are as a country. We've been abused. I can almost equate it to a battered wife being abused over and repeatedly, beaten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the husband saying after I hit the wife, "I love you, honey. Forgive me."
McCartney also dispelled rumors that he would be joining the FNM, while stating that if he wanted to be leader of the opposition, he could be, but joining that party is never going to happen.
This talk about I'm going to the FNM. Even so, we've had some persons come to me in this party and ask whether or not it's true. And I'm going to say this over and repeatedly, and if I have to say it again after this, I'll say it again. I am not going to the FNM. I left the FNM. I resigned from a cabinet position. I resigned from a position of power and went out there on my own. Fact of the matter is, if I wanted to be part of the FNM, and perhaps the leader of the FNM, I could.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
With the annual national examinations quickly approaching, the investigation into how to improve the current grade from a D- continues. Our Giorgio Bain sat down with the chief attendance officer at the Ministry of Education, who says he believes there is a direct correlation between school attendance and poor test scores.
With the national grade point average decreasing steadily, Chief Attendance Officer at the Ministry of Education, Anslo Strawn, says increasing dropout and absentee numbers are contributing to the problem.
The statistics for 2014-2015, we had 1,611 students that presented absentee problems. In the years prior to that, the highest was just over 900. And so it's almost doubled.
Strawn, who has been an attendance officer for over 20 years, says he and his team are working with the resources given, as there are only 8 attendance officers in New Providence and only 1 in Grand Bahama. Strawn says it's very hard to maintain control over the absentee problem when there are simply not enough officers to man the school system.
For better control of this problem, we would need 1 attendance officer for every junior high school. Now, primary schools, the attendance is not quite as bad, so that could be shared. For example, 1 officer can man 2 primary schools. You know, and the senior high schools, we need officers there too, but I still feel that the responsibility could be shared, you know, between 2 schools. But at the junior high school level, there needs to be an attendance officer at every junior high school.
Strawn says the reason for wanting an attendance officer at each junior high school is because the transition from primary school to junior high proves to be the most challenging for students, and he thinks a little more guidance is needed to prepare them for that level of responsibility.
Absence takes more of a dip at the junior high school level, that grade 7 and grade 8. We have found that even students whose attendance rate was fairly good in primary school, once they reach junior high school, some of them really start there's a difference, and sometimes a significant difference. I find that kids have some difficulties handling that transition from primary to junior high school.
When asked about the national grade point average, Strawn says it is hard for students to secure a high grade in the national exams because most of them miss the foundation of the teaching by coming late for class.
We have done some investigation into the problem of lateness, and what we've discovered is that schools average about 70 students per school that arrive after 9 a.m. in the morning, and with about 40 schools that we have, and that's excluding special schools and preschools, it's nearly 3,000 students that arrive to school after 9 a.m. in the morning. Now, at the primary school level, most of them have their reading period in the morning that starts around 9 a.m. So a lot of kids are actually missing out on that reading period. And, you know, for years, reading, the lack of the ability to read has been a problem in our school system. And so if the trend continues, the children come to school so late every morning that they're missing out on on reading, then the problem will continue to escalate.
The attendance department takes into consideration several different reasons for school absentee problems, including behavioral issues, financial problems, and a lack of supervision in the home. Strawn said it is not hard to see that there is a direct connection between a lack of education and the increasing crime activity in the country.
It's academic failure. Those are the major contributing factors to children either, that's when they start to present with absentee problems, then that ends up into truancy, which is a lot more severe. And that's when you have unexcused absences and whatnot. And then that could very easily lead to dropout. Okay, and from dropout, where do they go? Back into the community, where they're now exposed to other peers who may be dropouts, as well as adults who are involved in criminal activity. So there's a direct relationship between attendance, dropout, and imprisonment.
Strawn is seeking the public's assistance in combating this serious problem.
They can contact this department. The number is 502-2929. Yeah, my phone ringing now. We also, my email address is schoolattendance77@hotmail.com. We also have a website, which is school@bahamas.com. That's AT, the letters AT, as well as a Facebook page. If they just Google School Attendance Bahamas, it will show up as well. And we have some additional information there with phone contacts and other information. And they can also make some comments on how they think or how they feel about truancy, dropout, and absenteeism in the Bahamas.
Strawn is hoping with increased attendance officers and with the public's help, he'll be able to better combat this problem.